Hello, my name is Brian and I'm a writer. I have over 25 books published on Amazon. Welcome to the latest in this series. This is Chapter 15, Revelations. Remember to subscribe and leave a like for this video. Every time you do, it helps to boost my channel. Chapter 15, Revelations. Why are you so afraid of the chapel? Philip asked. You were fine the other day before Father Jacob died. What's got you so spooked? Spooked? Father Kyle repeated. Yeah, I guess spooked is a good word. Terrified is a better one. I saw some things there, things that I would rather forget. What kind of things? The man shook his head vehemently and took a backward step. No, I can't say. It's too horrible. Okay, if you won't talk about that, tell me this. Why is everyone so angry at you? They were okay with you before, but now they all hate your guts. Why indeed, he said shakily. They think I'm a coward. Who wouldn't be after what I saw? What did you see? What was it? Kyle went stiff and stared intensely into Philip's eyes. He looked back and forth and then up and down the road. He bit his lip and started to moan softly. I need to tell you something, lad. Something you'll be hard-pressed to believe. You mean about Father Jacob's soul? It's all over town. The demon has it, apparently, and you're too afraid to rescue him. Kyle snickered a little bit, but there was no mirth in it. Instead, it came out like an insane titter, and he half covered his face with his hands. I still have to tell you about it, he groaned. And as crazy as all that sounds, it gets even crazier. Philip took in a great breath and decided that Father Kyle had lost his mind. Not that any of the townsfolk sounded much saner. We have to talk, but we can't do it here, Kyle said. I know a place. It's about a 15-minute walk. We can take my car. No, we can't know if it's in the car. What's in the car? Never mind. Let's walk. Kyle led Philip down a forest trail that was almost overgrown. The grass was long and trampled down by many feet, but the forest floor beneath the trees was clogged with brush and vines. The elderly priest would not speak while they walked. He kept looking back and forth into the woods as if he were afraid that something might leap out at them. After almost 20 minutes, they came upon a small cabin. It was hidden almost completely by the trees and vegetation that surrounded it. Kyle led him through the front door, and Philip looked around with a frown. The place almost entirely empty. There was a table in one corner with two straight-back chairs. They were very plain and looked ready to collapse. There was a single cot in the opposite corner with blankets on it that looked freshly disturbed. The whole place looked abandoned and decrepit. Is this where you live? Philip asked. No, I did sleep here last night. They sat at the table and Kyle took in a deep breath. He eyed Philip nervously and finally spoke after a long time of tense silence. I told you to get out of that church, he said, and I have good reason. Tell me what you know about the thing in the basement. You mean the thing that Mrs. Fitz is always talking about? Not much. She calls it a demon. Father Jacob refused to talk about it at all. I know, Kyle said with a haunted voice. He wouldn't talk about it because he knew what it was. To everyone else, he pretended it wasn't there. But he knew that thing better than anyone alive. Philip frowned and tried not to think that Kyle was mad. Mrs. Fitz said that you opened the basement door once, the priest went on. What happened when you did that? Philip shrugged and shook his head. Not much, only that there was a terrible smell. That's all? Nothing else happened? Like what? Apparitions? Bad dreams? I had some bad dreams for a while, but they passed. You got off lucky, Kyle said with a grunt. I wonder why. Most people experience much worse than that after they encounter that thing. All you got was a bad smell? Yeah, it was like something died down there. Kyle nodded gravely and his eyes stared into space. Something did die down there. A lot of things have died down there, including at least 3 priests and 1 acolyte like you. Philip's shock was genuine. His head rocked back and his jaw dropped. What? People have died down there? Not just people. Priests. Holy men. Men of God have died down there. The thing that lives down there hungers for holy men. Are you kidding me? This is not some movie, you know. Indeed, it is not. If it were just a movie, I could go back there and help you minister to the people who live in Hunter's Creek. Come on, Father. I'm not a kid. You don't need to tell me scary stories. Just tell me what's going on and what I'm supposed to do. I told you already what to do. Go back to Toronto. Go back and tell Father O'Brien that Father Jacob died and that you can't carry on alone. What about the people here? Mrs. Fitz told me I need to lead Mass tomorrow. No one else around here can do it. Absolutely not, Kyle snapped. The beast that lives down there has tolerated Mass being held upstairs because they were led by ordained priests. It would never allow a Mass led by an acolyte like you to go on. It would interrupt the service and drive you and the parishioners out. And there's no telling how many souls it would take if that happened. Philip rolled his eyes once more and gave Kyle a pitiful look. You're right about one thing, Father, he said. I have to tell Father O'Brien what happened here. I'm going to call him and tell him what's going on. Kyle grunted. If you're not going to leave, ask him about the ecclesiastical inquiry he and I participated in 25 years ago. There was me, him, and 2 other priests. They're both dead now. If you remind him of that, he'll know exactly what's going on. An inquiry? Kyle sighed and stared down at the table. After a long time, he looked into Philip's eyes once more. Let me tell you about it. Kyle led Philip to a wide open field 100 or so yards away. He stopped in the middle of the clearing and sighed. Stories like this are best told under God's wide open sky. Even the hint of a shadow can obscure the hidden things that exist in this world. Things that should never have survived the flood. Philip walked back to retrieve his car and then rode back to the chapel. His mind was a whirl, and he could not shake the story that Father Kyle told him out of his head. He went directly to the rectory office and sat down to use the phone. He dialed the number for the seminary school and waited to be connected to Father O'Brien. Hello, Brother Philip, he said when he answered. I've been wondering how you were getting on up there. I expected to hear from Father Jacob about you." "Hello, Father," he said. "I have some bad news. Father Jacob is dead. He passed away yesterday. Things have been very hectic up here since then, and this is the first chance I had to tell you." "Dead? How did it happen?" Philip could tell that the news came to him as a shock. "We haven't been told the official cause of death yet, but he was very old." "Not that old. I'm only a year or so younger." "Well, they haven't told us how he died yet. Father Kyle found him in the chapel." "Ah, yes, Father Kyle. How is he doing? I haven't seen him in years." "I'm not sure. He was fine up until yesterday, but he's been acting very strangely since he found Jacob's body." "Yes, that kind of thing can shake a man. I told him that I was going to call you, though he wanted me to go back to Toronto to see you in person." "Why on earth would he want that?" "I don't know, but he said I should mention the ecclesiastical inquiry that you and he were involved with 25 years ago." "Inquiry?" Father O'Brien's voice sounded haunted. "Father Kyle said you would know exactly what was going on if I reminded you of that." Philip heard a loud crash and the sound of a long, drawn-out groan. It sounded like the man had dropped the phone on the other end. Thanks for listening so far. I'll see you again soon.